Hey everyone, it's Andrew Nagel with Valk9 Designs, and we are here to show you guys a little YouTube exclusive. My Patreon members have already seen this, admittedly, but I thought I would take a little snippet out of the start to finish tutorial and show you all how I build a wire-wrapped tree. This is part of a start to finish tutorial that my Patreon members are seeing exclusively, where they've already seen how I built that frame you see there, and they saw me draw out the design and everything. So to construct this tree, I'm using 20 individual lengths of 24 gauge and 26 gauge round, half-hard sterling silver wire. I use 20 just so that way I can split up the upper branches, evenly. Even though nature doesn't really grow evenly, that's just what I do to kind of satisfy my brain. I like things even. And so we're going to go ahead and start twisting those. I definitely recommend grabbing a pair of these nylon coated pliers. I'll leave a little Rio Grande order number in the description for you all there. If you can check out your local hobby stores and see if they have those as well, I recommend that. But they're great for clamping onto wires and not leaving tool marks. So as you see there, we're just twisting the wires to start the base of the tree, and that is going to basically be the tree trunk. And so we're just kind of checking out this cabochon, and I'm planning out where I want my roots to go, and I kind of want them cascading down both sides of the cabochon. So to start this off, we're going to pull a couple individual wires off of the back of the base of the roots, and we're going to twist them out so that way they can kind of become little supports to set this tree onto the frame. Makes it a lot easier to work with. Going to twist those up. Get them ready to attach to the frame. As you see, we've kind of made a little Y pattern back there on both of them. So now we're going to straighten out those tips and bring those through the loop on my frame and tie them down to the frame. Once you have that all tied down to the frame, you're ready to pull up your roots, and make sure that you pull them up high enough so that way they can, sit over this cabochon and not push it out of place. Then we're just going to split them, what I think is down the middle, I'm not 100% sure. And this is going to be the start of our roots. Taking those pliers again, we're going to twist those up and get them ready to set onto the frame. Clear out those extra clippings there. We'll save those for our scrap pile. Kind of bending those roots down so that way they sit over the cabochon. So now we're going to start fanning out the roots. Kind of just playing around with where we want them to sit. We're going to take 2 base roots and we're going to attach them to the frame near the top of the cabochon, so that way we can kind of, we make sure it doesn't slide at the top point of the roots. We want to hold it in on various different points around the cabochon so that way it stays in place. And these two will make sure that the top of it does not slide around. Getting those wires all secure there. Going to go ahead and do that to the other side. I also recommend that you don't use, super soft stones in the roots of your trees. I have broken a turquoise cabochon before as I was setting it in the roots. That being said, I have done other pieces with turquoise set in the roots. It's just, on those softer minerals, you're not going to want to push as hard or tighten the roots as hard, otherwise they might break. So I guess I shouldn't say that you shouldn't use them. Just make sure you are, being gentle enough that you don't break any softer materials. That's why I like working with labradorite, because it is a harder material and seems to, withstand a good amount of pressure and stuff. And so here we are getting into the expansion of the roots. We're going to start to fan out individual roots so that way we can build the system of roots. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say the word root, but you might hear it a couple more times in this video. So what I like to do when I'm building these is I keep twisting the root, and then I'll pull out the wires that naturally, curve out on that side. I feel that just gives it the most natural kind of growth look when you're, wanting to build these roots here. I'm going to go ahead and do that to the other side. And now we've got our root system kind of all splayed out there, and we're ready to start setting in individual roots onto the frame. Let's go ahead and start to send. I'm going about halfway down the cabochon, and then I'm loosely tying this end to the frame. I'm not going 100% tight, but just loose enough that I can, manipulate it still and then put in another root on the other side, as you see here, to keep them balanced and even. Wrapping those wires around the frame just to secure them very nicely. We're going to go ahead and do that to the rest of the roots, and we're going to alternate back and forth between these different sides. Again, we were alternating between different sides to set those roots into the frame. And I like to spread them out as well. As you can see what I've done near the tip of the cabochon, I've spread some over to the other side and then across, giving more of a natural look while still, covering the cabochon and setting it securely to the frame. Setting some more roots near the top. And we're almost done setting all of these individual roots. Again, what I like to do with those individual root systems, I twist them together, as you can see here, and then I like to separate them into another Y shape again. Sometimes I'll start with 3 and then twist all 3 of those roots together and then spread them out into like a 2 and a 1 and then spread those 2 into 1. Just basically, twisting those roots and spreading them out as they splay across the stone. Setting these final ones into the piece. And that is pretty darn set in there. You might need to straighten out your frame a little bit, I kind of get aggressive with these things a little bit. But always be kind to your wires. And so now we're going to do just a little bit of adjusting. I like these round needle nose pliers because they seem to just grip these thin wires better than a flat needle nose plier. And so we're going to make some twists here, just like doing some clockwise and counterclockwise rotations on these roots to just give them a bit more of a, you know, kind of growth look. I think this is where people kind of go wrong in building their trees. They don't do this part normally. I feel this just gives you the most natural look. And it also allows you to spread out those wires a bit more. When you're setting them, you know, you're pulling them tight and stuff, and so they kind of don't go where you want them to. And this gives you kind of a last minute, you know, ability to just kind of make things look like you want it to. And we're doing some of the last parts of the roots here. And so again, this has been part of a start to finish tutorial for my Patreon members, and they're seeing this whole thing built. They just got part 6 of that tutorial today, which has the bottom detailing component around this cabochon and around the root system, and then they'll see the rest of it as well. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please subscribe and comment, let me know your thoughts, and share it with the rest of the world if you enjoyed it that much. Have a great day!